Over the last 12 to 14 months, Canelo Alvarez has been an active champion. That is something I do like about his career. Boxing, one of its main problems is just general inactivity. For a myriad of reasons, fighters don't get into the ring often enough, and divisions just lose narrative. We shrug our shoulders, guys go past their prime, super fights dissolve, and it's just like, oh, what the hell. Canelo has fought, 4 times over the last 12 months? And if we include what he did against Callum Smith last December, he has become undisputed in 168 in less than 12 months. That is an achievement. Callum Smith, Billy Joe, Caleb Plant scooped up all their belts, pretty dominant in the process. A lot of fans will say, hey, look, it's pretty obvious statistically, Canelo is the fighter of the year. I would say, hey, look, actually, if you zoom in on these individual achievements, I'm not so sure they hold up to scrutiny. Callum Smith has scurried up to light heavyweight. Was he ever the best super middle on the planet? The fact he was almost beaten by John Ryder in the fight prior to Canelo. Billy Joe Saunders was never a proper super middle. And Caleb Plant has got it all to prove. I never thought he ever looked that good to begin with. Very solid year, but I'm not so sure worthy of Fighter of the Year. And so I think, barring Josh Taylor, who probably isn't getting the credit he deserves right now, there's only other one candidate. Oleksandr Usyk, the unified heavyweight champion of the world. I think what he did against Anthony Joshua this past September, he was magnificent. He went up to the bigger man, put on the afterburners, and he made sure he wasn't going to be denied. It's so easy now for people to diss Anthony Joshua. Say, look, he's flawed. He got beat by Ruiz before. Hey, look, Usyk was still the underdog. Myself and many people thought the size differential would be just a bit too much. Usyk went right in there, held ring center, was the boss, and stuck his middle finger up to all those people who thought perhaps he's a little bit too small or not powerful enough. It was a masterful performance. He was really up against it. This was a genuine challenge. Canelo Alvarez was a significant favourite against all his opponents. Whatever one may think about Anthony Joshua, we can't pretend he's not a big old lump. He knows how to box a bit. He doesn't quit at the first sign of trouble. He certainly knows how to punch. And actually, against Usyk, I was impressed with his concentration levels. He was right there for the 12 rounds. Okay, he had a poor game plan. He should have gone to the body more. He should have perhaps been prepared to get knocked out and gone for it. But hey, you know how many heavyweights are going to beat Joshua? He's already beaten a handful of a lot of the top 10. He is not bad at all. So for those who try and take this second loss as like ammunition to rubbish him, you're losing sight of this here. For any cruiserweight, Anthony Joshua is a considerable challenge. So historically speaking, what Usyk did was very important. Because look at David Haye and Nikolai Valuev. That's always considered one of David Haye's highlights. But it was a narrow victory, and Valuev definitely isn't as good as Anthony Joshua. Oleksandr Usyk went into the lion's den, laser focus. He got a little few nicks himself, and look at that elation after the decision was rendered. If this was easy, there wouldn't have been that release of emotion. This was a big deal, and part of that was because it was not easy. Usyk had to shift through the gears to secure this victory. And what an incredible crescendo at the end of the 12th round. And so, yeah, if we're going to talk about performances, which of course factor in to your overall ranking, if you will, at the end of a year, I think Usyk looked better against Joshua than Canelo did against any one of his opponents. He was just so sharp, making so many different movements. We talk about Canelo's head movement, but sometimes it's almost a little superfluous, where he catches himself smiling at his own work, like, haha, you can't hit me. With Usyk, faced with a genuine threat, he was just moving purely for function. Inside the jab, outside, moving just back enough to make the right cross swoop past his chin. Then he's back in range, behind the blinding southpaw jab. Boom, in goes the straight left. It was all functional. It was all sharp. I just think he raised his game so much more than what we saw against the likes of Derek Chisora. It really was masterful. So, yeah, no doubt about it, Canelo Alvarez has had a very good year. A very solid year. Not spectacular. Though Usyk has only fought once, this wasn't the incredible crusade of 2018 where he just dominated at cruiserweight. But it's still a singular achievement. Not many former cruiserweights do that. Anthony Joshua flawed, okay, he's still formidable. And Usyk wasn't going to be denied that 115-113 card by Howard Foster trying to screw him over. He put the afterburners on. He made sure he was the victor. It wasn't easy. Rounds 5, 6, and 8, a little bit rocky, but he always regained control. We have got to say, that is a little bit special.